This is an exclusive excerpt from the Stuph File Program with Peter Anthony Holder.
We've had Andrew Fazekas, the night sky guy, on the program dozens of times over the years. He wears many hats. He's a science writer, he works for National Geographic, and he's a member of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada. Well, he now has a new hat to wear. Author. He has a book coming out entitled Star Trek, the official guide to our universe, which is sure to enthrall stargazers and trekkers alike. Andrew joins us via Skype from right here in Montreal. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Peter.
How you doing, sir?
Just doing great, thank you.
Excellent. Right off the bat, I have to apologize for dragging you onto this program on several occasions when I know you were busy working and researching your book. So I apologize for that in advance.
It's always a pleasure, though, always.
But now that the fruits of your labor are about to come out, tell us about this fascinating book, which is done in conjunction with National Geographic and CBS.
That's right. I'm super excited that finally, after so many years of really just dreaming and then hard work, finally I have this amazing book come out. It's called Star Trek: The Official Guide to Our Universe. And basically, what we're talking about here is a book that merges the fictional Star Trek universe with the real universe that we live in and we're surrounded with. And surprisingly enough, there is a lot of similarities, a lot of things that are found within Star Trek. The voyages, the objects that they encounter, the astronomical destinations that just abound throughout all the Star Trek television series and movies. Many of them have real life counterparts. So what this book really is a tour guide to through many of the voyages of Star Trek, and it points out some of the science behind the astronomical destinations, be they planets, gas clouds, star clusters, things like that. Then we point out the real science in them, what we know about them, and I guide folks to actually stepping outside and looking up at the heavens and finding it for themselves, actually going on their own journey in their backyards.
So was it a surprise to you when you first started researching this idea for the book that in the Star Trek world there was a lot of fact hidden in their fiction?
Yeah, you know what? It is amazing because, I grew up watching Star Trek since a very young age. I grew up seeing it in the first rerun, one of the first reruns time periods in the early 70s, and with my dad. And my dad is a scientist and a medical doctor, and he was always interested in Star Trek, and he introduced me to a lot of the episodes at a young age, and we also did astronomy together. And so I don't know if it was a complete surprise. It's sort of like when I watched those, I remember watching a lot of those episodes, I saw things that we were encountering through our telescope on the rooftop of the building we lived. So there was this immediate connection that I had with Star Trek and could connect it to my other love, which was astronomy. That's followed me throughout my life as a hobby. And so seeing all that stuff, but then seeing many of the later series, and there was a lot of science there that they were doing, and a lot of the astronomy there was bang on. As I became more informed about astronomy as a hobby and understanding the real universe, I could appreciate more of the Star Trek because they really were bang on with a lot of the science there.
Now, are you talking actual geographic locations or the concepts of them?
Both. Both. The scientific concepts of things were there. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example, a very famous one that even the casual Star Trek fan probably can remember is that fantastic favorite movie, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and that epic battle scene with the villain Khan, of course, and Kirk on Enterprise, and Khan on the Reliant Starship, and they're battling within a gas cloud we call a nebula. And this nebula is what is known in Star Trek as the Mutara Nebula, right? So that's the fictional name of this nebula. But if you look at the battle scenes and you see the background that this major battle's playing out on, you can see that it looks like something. If you're a stargazer, it's something that you would be very familiar with. It's actually a favorite target of many backyard stargazers. It's called the Orion Nebula. There's a direct correlation between this fictional nebula and the real life nebula. And while there is no Mutara Nebula in the real world, you can definitely see the structure in the film of what a nebula is like. This is called an emission nebula in particular. It's where stars are born, and these young stars that are embedded at the center of this gas cloud emit a lot of radiation, which cause the gas surrounding it to glow in a myriad of colors, pinks and purples and blues, and that all is played out in those epic battle scenes in the Wrath of Khan. And in real life, the Orion Nebula again is a star factory. It's actually a stellar nursery where there are hundreds of baby stars nestled in the center of this giant gas cloud in space. And in fact, you can go outside. Most people around the world can actually see it with their naked eye, even from light-polluted suburbs. If they know where to look, you can find this counterpart to the Mutara Nebula in the night sky. And I think that this is a typical example of how Star Trek really emulates the real world in many ways, the real universe. And in fact, it's not by accident. The Star Trek always had scientists on board their episodes and writing out the scripts and making sure that when they involve astronomical objects in their scripts, that they really flesh it out with as much science as possible. So my hats are off. Having done this book, I can tell you my hats are off to Star Trek and the folks behind all of that wonderful work, because they really took to heart science and painting a real life-like universe.
Now, your book is coming out and it coincides with the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. And I've known people in the past who have gotten in contact with the folks at Paramount and CBS in the hopes of doing something in connection with Star Trek, and it's a pretty tough road to go. Now, you're working with National Geographic, but you had to also cross that Rubicon, as it were. How was it getting the folks from Star Trek on board with your book?
Well, in fact, it was a real pleasure, I have to tell you. I had some intrepidation because I've heard so much over the years. I mean, when I first dreamt up this book over a decade ago, I think the situation was a little different. And, the folks at CBS, they really take to heart this whole franchise, and they're very protective of it. And they should be, because it's iconic, and they want to make sure that it's cherished and taken care of properly. And so I knew from the start this might be some kind of might be something difficult. And if National Geographic and I could not sway CBS to really come on board, then the project would not come to fruition. That was obvious. We knew from the beginning that we had to have CBS on board. But when they heard that National Geographic was part of it, and they heard about the idea of merging real life science with the fictional universe of Star Trek, they were enamored straight away. They loved the idea, and many of the insiders at CBS said that they were dreaming of having this kind of a book out for decades. They thought that this would, and the timing was perfect for the 50th anniversary. I think and with the new movie coming out as well, we have such a treasure trove of Star Trek photos and artwork that's now included in this book. Many of the artwork photos that are embedded now in this book have never been seen before in any other form. So it's really amazing. I have to thank CBS because they really opened up the vaults to us, and we were lucky, really fortunate that they were completely on board with this project from the get-go.
You even got William Shatner to do a foreword.
I know, that really is the true dream. When I came up with this book, I said, I had to have Captain Kirk, William Shatner involved in it, and I feel so fortunate that he lent his name to it and put down a wonderful foreword. I think people will really enjoy reading what he has to say at the front of the book there, and it's something I'm looking forward to having him sign a copy of my personal copy, I tell you.
The book is called Star Trek, The Official Guide to Our Universe. Taking a look at the picture of the cover, just very quickly, how does it feel to see your name in Star Trek font?
It's kind of unbelievable. It's surreal. I mean, at this point, I'm still waiting for the book to come out. It's coming out on June 7th, so I have a few months to wait. But to see that cover, that beautiful cover that, sort of brings together the Star Trek feel and the reality, people will see the cover and see what I mean, having both the real universe and the Star Trek universe together. It's a dream come true for me. It's been many years in the making.
Congratulations. Again, the book is Star Trek, The Official Guide to Our Universe. It's written by Andrew Fazekas. Andrew, thank you very much for being on the program once again.
My pleasure, and clear skies.
Andrew Fazekas, author of Star Trek, The Official Guide to Our Universe. You can check out his website at thenightskyguy.com, and you can go to my website at thestuffile.com, go to the What's On page for this show, which is show number 0344, and you'll find links to Andrew's site, plus links to Amazon.com or Amazon.ca, where you can pre-order his book directly.
You've just heard an exclusive excerpt from the Stuph File Program with Peter Anthony Holder. To hear any or all of the full hour-long shows, visit thestuffile.com. Stuph is spelled S-T-U-P-H. That's thestuffile.com. A presentation of Flying Fish Communications.